Hello and welcome back to the Dugout. This is the European sort of overview of all the European action that happened last week and the upcoming European action this week. Four teams now, as unfortunately Dundee United went out, but Aberdeen and Celtic enter the fray. A lot of stuff to talk about. We'll start. I think we'll start on Rangers. They were defeated 2-1 in Pilsen, but obviously they progressed 4-2 on aggregate. And tonight, as we're recording this, they play Club Brugge in the first leg of the playoff round. Ethan, what are your thoughts on Rangers going into this game?
Yeah, a really strange one because Rangers, as we've seen in previous years, domestically a little bit shaky to start the season. Obviously, got the win against Alloa in the cup at the weekend, as we'll touch on in the that episode. But in Europe, it's been better, but still, last week wasn't a very good performance. They obviously lost 2-1 on the night, and but advanced through an aggregate, and sometimes that's the main thing. But the performances obviously haven't been very convincing under Russell Martin so far, and that wouldn't give you much confidence. But then again, Rangers have shown up in the past in big European nights and sort of done it against the odds. And they would have to do it against the odds, you would feel, against Club Brugge, because Club Brugge obviously season Champions League regulars now, and yeah, but massive night for Rangers, and if they can take a good positive result over there to Belgium, then you never know. But yeah, it's going to be really difficult. There's no getting away from that.
Yeah, it definitely will be. Me myself as a Rangers supporter, I'm nervous. I'm cautiously optimistic. However, you always want to put faith in your team to do the job, and hopefully, in terms of for benefit for Scotland and benefit for Rangers financially, they can make it through this tie. But I think a win tonight is crucial if they want to progress. Because if they don't win at Ibrox, I can't see them going over and securing the victory in Belgium.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that, and it doesn't always work out that way, obviously. But yeah, you would imagine that Rangers in the past, when they've had success in big European ties, that a lot of the successes come at home rather than away. They've of course had some really good results on the road, but for most teams in Europe, you're looking at winning at home and seeing what you can do away. And sometimes you would prefer to have the second leg, obviously going back to Ibrox. But Rangers have to play Ibrox tonight, which it can be an advantage in both ways, of course. But yeah, I think, as you
Well, yeah,
said, Rangers need to win tonight.
if you look at the last two ties, they come
Yeah,
away with victories. They go away, they don't get the win in either games, but those victories gave them the cushion to kind of make it through. So I think that would be a good result tonight if they manage to win. We'll move on to we'll start with Dundee United. I think out of the two teams, obviously the one to go out on penalties, but you know, full credit to them because I think they did a lot more than what we thought they would. They took Legia Warsaw all the way to penalty. No, not Legia Warsaw.
Rapid Vienna.
Rapid Vienna. I'm getting the white, green and white mixed up in my head. They took Rapid Vienna all the way to penalties over the course of the two legs, both games finishing two each. Obviously heartbreaking, and that first penalty wasn't even a bad penalty either, just a whisker away. But yeah, unfortunate for Dundee United, but they can be proud of themselves.
Yeah, I'd agree. They can be really proud of their performance, and I'm sure that'll be the message that when it's all settled down and the players can rest on their laurels a little bit from after the tie, that'll be the message from Jim Goodwin that you can be really proud of what you've done across 180 minutes, well, 210 minutes, even with a top European side who, if you look at squad valuation wise, it's nearly five times the amount of Dundee United. And especially you add that with the fact that Dundee United have had such a massive turnover in that squad. I think ranging between eight and nine new players in the starting 11 for those ties. So a massive achievement. And okay, yes, maybe they didn't get through, but to compete. And I think with what all the other clubs have done in Europe so far this season, it's a real positive step for Scotland, and hopefully it continues into the playoff round, and we can really have a chance of having 40. Obviously, 3 teams already guaranteed, but hopefully Hibs can join them. But yeah, Dundee United should be really proud of what they've done across the 2 legs. And as you said, we didn't give them much of a chance, and I didn't give them much of a chance in the second leg after how the first leg went, because Rapid Vienna, although Dundee United came away with the draw, they did have a lot of chances, but Dundee United, you would probably say, were the better team in the second leg, and that's a real credit to them. And really unfortunate that they fall short by such fine margins in the penalty kicks.
Yeah, yeah. I think we'll go on to Hibs now. Obviously, they were defeated 3-2 at home, but obviously they had that 2-0 cushion. Um, uh, Gosh, that 2-0 cushion from the away leg in Partizan Belgrade with another red card, so making it more difficult for themselves. Massive for Hibs. Before we get into what might be the best goal I've ever seen, I think it was great for Hibs. However, um, I think if Partizan managed to keep 11 men on the pitch in both legs, it might have gone the other way.
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah, that's definitely a fair point to make because I think it was 115 minutes. I think it was how I counted it up the other day that they played with a man less than Hibs. So it's a lot of the tie. And yeah, but yeah, at the end of the day, you could also say that Hibs and Jordan Smith for the 2 goals last week is really poor. He shouldn't be letting either of them in. So that really opened up the tie for Partizan and brought them back into the game. Obviously, before Kieran Bowie scores that Puskas worthy goal. So yeah, I think about it's still a brilliant result for Hibs across 2 legs, and they can take confidence from that tie. And obviously, FC Midtjylland won as well into another difficult tie against Legia Warsaw.
Yeah, on that Kieran Bowie goal, on a on our show that me and Ethan are on this season, the Scottish Football Zone. I believe you said in the preview we wouldn't see a goal like Ben Brannan's at Easter Road on Thursday night. We saw one similar, but even better.
Yeah, exactly that. And I just I couldn't believe it that he even took on the strike. And I've obviously been an admirer of Kieran Bowie for a little while now. I thought he would come good this season for Hibs, and so far he has. Obviously, we're a short stint in the season, but no, it is just a ridiculous quality in the goal because Ben Brannan, he's got a right to shoot from there. Kieran Bowie's not got any right to shoot from there. He barges off the defender, doesn't even really look up and just strikes it on the half volley, and yeah, it's in off the post. The keeper has no chance. It's just a perfect goal, and what a moment for Hibs. And yeah, I think it will genuinely be hard to see that not in the Puskas nominations because it is that good a goal.
Yeah, it was class as well. I think I saw an angle of like David Gray and his assistant's reaction to when it went in, and it's just like it was so funny. It's like every football fan, because you know how some managers kind of like are stoic after a goal, as if they're thinking about the next step or something like that. But the way David Gray reacted, it was as if he was just a fan in the stands. I thought that was really good to see because you can't not react to a goal like that, can you?
Yeah, and the reaction was brilliant from all the players and David Gray as well. They were just amazed at what they had seen, and I'm sure the Partizan players were probably a bit the same. It's what do you even do? There's no counter to that when a player does something like that, and that's when you just need to kind of sit back and go, well, what could we have done there?
Yeah,
And yeah, that was obviously the goal. Obviously, Chris Cadden's goal in extra time is the one that wins it after Partizan get the late equaliser, but that's the difference in the game. And you would say a goal like that, cliche to say, a goal like that deserves to win any tie in this occasion, but game.
yeah, definitely. And the whole they face Legia Warsaw this week. We got it wrong. It was actually the loser of Warsaw versus Larnaca. So our mistake there. Sorry for misinforming you. But yeah, they faced Legia Warsaw after Warsaw lost 5-3 on aggregate to Larnaca of Cyprus. And this is definitely going to be a tough tie for Hibs. I think they've not had a they've not had an easy run through these European qualifiers, have they?
No, not at all. And that's it. They've all been difficult and they've competed really well. They fell on the wrong side of extra time against FC Midtjylland and done Scotland, I think, very proud with that performance across the two legs. Then against Partizan Belgrade, they obviously fall the right side of extra time. And yeah, I think I could easily see this one going this close as well. I think two teams that are sitting not at the top of their countries anymore. Hibs obviously quite a while ago now. Legia Warsaw less so, but they've sort of fallen down the pecking order in Poland recently, but still got that European pedigree, and that they'll still cause Hibs problems, you'd imagine, over the two legs. And Hibs have got obviously it's different this time because in the last two occasions they've played their home match second, but now they've obviously got Legia at home first, so that'll be a little bit of a change for them. But yeah, I'm confident in Hibs, and I'm confident in all the teams that they can all go and compete. It just if they play their best, and I think they've all definitely got a chance. But yeah, it'll be really difficult. There's no getting away from that. But yeah, Legia Warsaw. Let me just look at the start of the season. 7 points from 4 games in the league, so not the best start, but they've obviously got quality throughout that squad. So it will be difficult for Hibs, but I can see them um, doing Scotland proud, as pretty much all the teams have done so far.
Yeah, definitely. And we wish them well. As we have done the whole time, just try and get many Scottish teams in Europe as possible. Okay, so moving on we'll start with Celtic, the first of the two teams entering in at the playoff round. Celtic taking on Almaty of Kazakhstan, the Kazakhstani Premier League champions. Um, Obviously, they beat a familiar face to Scottish football in Celtic, Slovan Bratislava, and another familiar face missing a penalty in the shootout. Or did he score? He might
Yeah,
have
he scored.
I
He
scored.
scored.
Another familiar face scoring in the shootout for Slovan Bratislava, Mikola Kukarevic, but he couldn't. But his penalty in the end was inconsequential, as Almaty went through. Uh, this game I think should be a pretty standard win for Celtic, although there is potential for an all-time banana skin here.
Yeah, definitely. I'd completely agree with you. There always is, in any football, and that's why we watch it. But I think Celtic, regardless of the fact that the club is in, I'll not say major shambles, minor shambles, with some off the pitch issues, including the transfer policy. But there is no way Celtic should be losing to Kairat Almaty over two legs, and that's no disrespect to the Kazakhstani champions. But Celtic are on a completely different level when it comes to infrastructure, income, squad value. Celtic should be able to win this pretty comfortably over two legs, although they want to take a big league over to Kairat because it's a 35-hour round trip there and back. So you don't want to be relying on getting something there. And Celtic's record and Champions League playoff away ties is not very good. The last three, I think they've lost 8-4 on aggregate. So yeah, they'll be hoping to take a good lead over there, and I think they will do because they're big favourites, and they seem to be playing better as the games go by. Celtic, so I think they'll take a lot of confidence into the game. The only sort of danger man for Kairat is the young striker. I don't know if you've seen him, Dastan Satpayev. He's the record Kazakhstan international transfer fee. He's been signed by Chelsea on a pre-contract signing for next season. So I think he's pretty good. He's just turned
How
17.
how is he the record fee if he's been signed on a pre-contract?
No, he's been signed on like a not a pre-contract, so like a pre-transfer. I
Right.
think I don't know if it's a pre. If I imagine it's a pre-transfer. But they
Yeah.
did just sign him, Chelsea. But he's staying at Kairat for the season. He's their top scorer. He was their top scorer last season, I believe, and he's just turned 17. So he's pretty good. But I think Celtic should still have way too much for Kairat over the two ties. And if they weren't to go through, then it would be the ultimate embarrassment for Scottish football and Celtic.
Yeah, definitely. Um, we spoke about this game on Pitch and Patter. It's going out on Wednesday tomorrow at 3 o'clock. And don't worry, I won't be doing a Borat impression like Ryan did when talking about this game. But we gave he comes at it from a different perspective, a more comedic perspective. So make sure to go listen to that as well. I made an appearance on there. So yeah, moving on to the fourth and final game. Aberdeen playing FCSB of Romania. Obviously, we're familiar with them as well. Rangers playing them last season, and much like Celtic and Slovan Bratislava, dispatched of them fairly easily. So, this could be a winnable tie for the Dons, and they've just made a really big signing, I think. One that they might have needed because Cassini Yengi hasn't been great. He got his goal at the weekend, but he couldn't miss that. And they've just brought in Marco Lazetic from AC Milan. I think Aberdeen's recruitment's been superb this season. Another really good signing for them. So yeah, they could pose FCSB some problems.
Yeah, and I think they've got to look at the tie, regardless of their start to the league season. They'll take a lot of confidence from the cup win at the weekend, albeit against Championship Greenock Morton. But FCSB have been, although in Europe they've been okay in the qualifiers. They got knocked out of Champions League qualifiers by KF Shkendija, the champions of North Macedonia. But I think I mentioned this previously. They lost it into Club de Escaldes, which is not over two games, but they lost the away leg, which is a real upset result in the league. They're currently sitting 13th of 16 teams in the Romanian league. They've started the season with one win from their opening six games, so really poor start to the season for them. And Aberdeen, if they can catch them off guard and play their best football, like we've seen at times at the start of last season, then there's no reason why they can't cause an upset over the two legs. And I think Aberdeen and Jimmy Tulane have got to look at this tie with real optimism. They've got to obviously take a really big, not really big, but I put in a massive performance at Pittodrie on Thursday and take a really good result over to Bucharest as a start. But yeah, I think there's definitely, usually you would look at this tie and think FCSB, big club, former Champions League winners or European Cup winners, of course. You wouldn't really give Aberdeen much of a chance, but I think with the way FCSB are playing, and there's always going to be a chance for Aberdeen if they can, I say, get their act together because the opening two league games haven't been very promising, but there's always time to turn it around, and hopefully they manage to do it in back-to-back games because I think they postponed their league game in between the two. They used that clause, which not all teams have used. Celtic and Rangers obviously didn't use it, but I think Hibs and Aberdeen both have, and hopefully it benefits them to get two massive performances in at home and then both of them going away.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, so that is that for kind of the games, talking about that. So, Ethan, I gave my predictions on pitch and patter, so I already know them. But I'll come to you first for Rangers versus Club Bruges, the first leg. What are you saying?
It's a really difficult. Rangers are a difficult one to call. I don't think I've got anywhere near any of the results in the Champions League qualifying so far.
Yeah, just keep backing them to lose, Ethan, and it'll just
Yeah, I
keep.
don't think I've backed them to lose as much, but I think I've maybe said draws. Um, You know what? I'll just go with a draw again. Surely, if I keep guessing a draw, then it's going to be a draw. Or maybe will Rangers win, or will they? Hmm. You know what? I'm gonna go. I'll
No.
go to each. I'll go to each.
All right, good. Good.
I can't. I can't see. I can't see Rangers keeping a clean sheet. I mean, the
Well,
proof is in the pudding after
you
the
can.
weekend. And what?
You can't see Rangers keeping a clean sheet.
I don't think Rangers' defence is capable of keeping a clean sheet at the moment. Against the best opposition they will play um, this season so far, and possibly one of the best, depending on what competition they land and depending on what Celtic do in the transfer market. I think this will be a massively difficult tie for Rangers. We obviously talked about it, but yeah, I think 2-2 I'll go with at Ibrox. I think so. Not the worst result, and then they can maybe go over to Bruges, build confidence after they'll be hoping to win at St Mirren, and then maybe they go over there and win.
And
And
then
hopefully they do.
they host Celtic and batter them as well. Uh,
Yeah, possibly.
so, you can't see Rangers keeping a clean sheet, but I can. I'm going with six. No, no. 2-0. 2-0 to Rangers, I'm going for. I'm going to go with. And I'm gonna pick scorers as well. I'm gonna pick scorers. I'm gonna go with Diego Sama and a first goal for Mikey Moore coming off the bench. Easy
Fair
days.
enough. Fair enough. Optimism. You've got to back your team. I can see the vision, and
Blind
I
up.
wouldn't I would I wouldn't be too surprised if Rangers pull off some sort of miracle. You would have to say with what we've seen so far because they've done it in the past, been known for doing it in Europe, and this is one of those big European nights. I think I say it, and maybe I say it too much, but I think these are the biggest games for Celtic and Rangers because well, probably all the Scottish teams because the financial implications of missing out on these sort of mm, windfalls that you get from qualifying for these tournaments, you can't really afford to turn your nose up at. So, yeah, I think it's Rangers' biggest games of the season and Celtic's biggest games of the season, financially, definitely, anyway.
Yep. Well, moving on to Celtic, I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna say 4-0.
Yeah, I'm going around the similar scoreline. I'm going to go with 3 now.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it should be a comfortable win for Celtic, and if it's not, then the Celtic fans will be very nervous for the team making that 15-hour, well, 17 or 18-hour trip, I think it is to Kazakhstan on the next week, next Tuesday. So
An
yeah,
18-hour flight or round an 18-hour round trip.
no, 18-hour there, 18-hour back, so
Eee.
around that anyway. So yeah,
Okay.
not
Okay.
ideal.
That's all right. Well, moving on. Well, that can be quite advantageous to Rangers for the old firm game. If you're
Was
coming,
that you only? Is that you only just coming to a realization?
yeah, yeah. Just like yesterday, I only remembered the Celtic game was on.
Yeah,
But yeah, so moving on to Aberdeen, I said one each.
yeah. Aberdeen, really interesting one. You know what? I'm going to back them. I'm going to back the Dons. I'm going to go for 3-1 Aberdeen. A massive win for them. I'm backing it. I think um, they can take themselves back to the early days under Jimmy Tilleen last season and pull off a really big result to take to Bucharest and hopefully see out the tie and get into the Europa League because obviously I think the last few seasons that we've had a club in that position of that Europa League playoff, they've dropped out in the Conference League, which obviously isn't a disaster. I think for all of these teams, you sort of think that if they were to lose their tie, I would go as far to say that perhaps Celtic and Rangers, it would be very disappointing. But for Aberdeen, if they get into Conference League, it's probably a better level of competition. But obviously, the money you get for Europa League, they'd want to be in there, and I think they can be. So
Yep.
hopefully, they get a massive result on Thursday night.
fair enough. And for Hibs, I'm going with the same. I'm going with one each as well.
Okay, I'm going with um, 2-1 to the High Bees. So yeah, I'm going for all wins apart from Rangers.
Okay. Right, that'll do it for our European overview episode. Thank you all for watching and listening. Go check out the Twitter at the Dugout 2024. Go check out the TikTok at the Dugout. We are now on Spotify, so go and check that out. It's just the Dugout podcast on Spotify. You might see we are for some reason listed as American football. But we talk about real football, so that'll be all right there. And make sure to go check out tomorrow's episode coming out talking about the cup action, and check out Pitch and Pather coming out tomorrow as well at 3 o'clock, where me and Ryan talk about quite a lot. We talk about young Sky, who obviously she received quite a lot of abuse. We talk about Antoine Semenyo, who received quite a lot of abuse. I promise it gets a bit brighter throughout the episode, but these are important issues that I think we had to discuss. Yeah, thank you. And I've lost the button. Goodbye.